So, here are the two reasons why you're not building muscles, right? Anyways, I've been training for over 3 years now, consistently, and I've made countless mistakes. And these are the two biggest mistakes or reasons why you're not building muscle, right? And now, without wasting any more time, with a story, no, I'm gonna get straight to the reasons. So number one, like the first reason is that you're not bulking or eating enough, right? Because, bro, after over 3 years of training, I've realized that, bulking is the single best way to building muscle because building muscle is naturally slow. So why are you trying to build muscle while cutting or like main gaining? Just, bro, commit to a bulk. And what's the best way to bulk? A lean bulk. I'll get into the details now. But the reason you're not, building muscle like the fastest way and you're like, barely making any progress is that you're not bulking, you're not eating enough, you're not fueling your body and like giving it enough to build the muscles. Do you understand? So you gotta bulk to build muscles and see actual progress because naturally, like growing muscles is slow. Even while you're bulking, it's still slow. But bulking is just like the fastest way to do it, right? So, bro, you must commit to a bulk. Trust me. And, bro, because now I've been like bulking for about 65 days, right? 2 months and like 5 days. And bro, I think I'm like at I'm like the most muscular I've ever been. Like here's a picture, but you know, it does really actually work, man. So, bro, like, trust me, commit to a bulk. So now, how do you bulk properly? Like, how do you actually lean bulk? Number one is that you're gonna be bulking for quite some time, right? It's not a 2 week phase. No, it's at least 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. The longer, the better. But the reason you don't go for like 12 months, or most people don't go for 12 months, because they kind of get lazy with the bulk, so they start eating whatever, eating too much. So they gain the fat too quick, so they have to cut. But if it wasn't to gaining too much fat, you would keep bulking for a very long time, right? So, bro, it's up to you and your commitment. How far and how disciplined can you be with your lean bulk? Because with a lean bulk, it differs from a normal bulk. A normal bulk, you're just eating whatever and anything possible to gain weight. But no, with a lean bulk, you're doing like you're going the disciplined path. You're eating a little bit more to the point that you're gaining weight slowly. How slow? 1 to 2 kilograms a month, 2 to 4 pounds a month. That's kind of slow, but this is enough to maximize muscle growth and minimize fat gain. And fat gain is inevitable, so you will gain fat, don't worry. But remember, your goal is to gain muscle and not worry about the fat and the jawline. No, no, forget that. The current goal is to build muscles, right, and see progress. So, bro, you commit to the bulk for at least a couple of months and stick to it. No, just like most people, not just most people, me personally, I would go on a bulk for some time and like, no, I'm gaining some fat, go on a cut. Don't do that. Commit to a bulk. And bro, I think this is like the most disciplined I've been with a bulk. Bulking for 2 months straight without, trying to cut. No. Like I've been going really good. So bro, trust me and commit to a bulk for a good time. Right? And just like I said, you're gonna be gaining 2 to 4 pounds a month. That's about 1 to 2 kilograms a month. Pretty slow, but it does work, right? And how do you do it? Just eat a little bit more while training and all, right? And if you're still not gaining enough weight, increase your overall food with a bit, right? And now, how healthy should you eat? Try to keep it as healthy as possible with some snacks on the side, right? That's allowed on a bulk because on a bulk the goal is like to be eating enough, right? And if some snacks are gonna help you, do it, right? As long as like the majority of your food is healthy, right? And now that's it for the bulking and the diet side, right? Because the second mistake is in your training. Because so many people, of course, bulking is easy, right? Because if you only bulk without the training, you'll get fat, right? And like eating a lot is easy, right? But with the training, you gotta be a bit, like you gotta do it properly. And now there's only like 4 rules when it comes to training, and they're pretty simple. Just make sure you're following all of them. right? So you can see the best progress and not make any mistakes with your training. So, bro, the second reason why you're not building muscle is because you're not training properly. And now, with training, there are the big four things that are important for training that you must apply to your training. The first two are intensity and volume. Intensity and volume. So, for intensity, what do I mean by intensity? Basically, how hard you go in each set. Bro, go to failure every single set. I know you've heard this guy talking about reps in reserve, central nervous system. The studies actually says that no, just train to failure every single set. And that's it for the intensity, right? And now for the volume, this is where it gets interesting because for the volume, it basically means how many sets are you doing per week for each muscle. I'll get into like the depth, but this with it like the volume, so many people do it wrong because most people try to do like low volume and high intensity and they end up making no progress. Bro, the goal, like, the best way is to keep your intensity high and your volume high, but not like crazy amounts, right? And I'm gonna share with you like the sweet spot. So now, when it comes to the volume, just like I said, we're gonna look at it in per week, right? How many sets you're doing for each muscle per week. So for example, let's use chest as an example, right? For your chest, you're gonna be doing at least 9 sets or more per week, right? 9 sets. That sounds kind of confusing, but it's actually pretty simple. So how would like 9 sets for your chest for the whole week look like? That's gonna be 3 exercises for chest for the whole week. Each of these 3 exercises, that's gonna be 3 sets, 3 sets, 3 sets, and 3 multiplied by 3 is 9, right? So, bro, that's like that's like basically it. So 3 exercises at least for every muscle per week. Not that hard, right? And bro, this also applies to your biceps and your triceps. You're not gonna, like train them both together and just count like 3 exercises. No, you're gonna do 3 exercises for biceps, 3 exercises for triceps. And these 3 exercises, each of them will be 3 sets, 3 sets, 3 sets across the whole week. So that's gonna be like 9 sets a week for every muscle. You could do more, but don't do less, right? Because less than that's kind of low, right? And you want to like get the best results, just keep it from 9 or more, right? And that's it for the volume. Pretty simple and easy. So at least 3 exercises for each muscle for the whole week. Easy. And then we have progressive overload. I know. You might, already know it, but here's how to do it properly. So number one, you're gonna commit to a rep range for all of your exercises. Okay. Me personally, I do 8 till 15 reps. Except on legs, I do 8 till 12 reps, right? So for most of your muscles, 8 to 15 reps, right? And how do you progressively overload properly? For example, let's take dumbbell bicep curls, right? And now you start doing 5 kilogram bicep curls for about 8 reps, right? You're able to do 8 reps. Next session, push harder and harder until you can do 9. Next session, 10. Next session, 11 until you hit 15 reps. After you hit 15 reps, you can finally increase the weight. So now you're doing 7.5 kilograms, 7 reps, 8 reps, right? Next session, 9 reps. And you repeat this whole thing until you hit 15 again and increase the weight. And you do this for every single exercise. And that's how you progressively overload properly, right? And now, lastly, it's more like a tip, which is basically to prioritize your form over everything. Because, bro, the form really matters because, first of all, you don't want to injure yourself. And number two is that you want to progress properly. Let's say you're doing cheat reps or like using momentum for your reps, right? You're doing bicep curls, like you're swinging the weight and all. When you do that, what you're really doing in these extra reps, these cheat reps, you're just making the weight a bit lighter so you can curl it. So you're not even like doing the exercise properly or doing that weight properly. And you might also injure yourself. And this applies to like all exercises. So bro, trust me, always like prioritize your form over everything. Even if you're gonna do less weight, perfect your form and prioritize your form over everything. Right? And bro, if you want to get jacked and you want me to personally coach you and help you, DM me on Instagram. And that's it.